Now that's what I call church music. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change. Because you're amazing. Just the way you are. When you look in the mirror, are those the words you're using? Because you should be. I love that. Well, now I will. It is so important for us to pay attention to the way we talk to ourselves. It is so important for us to pay attention to what we think about ourselves, what we believe about ourselves. There's a reason I hear this song and I just get all verklempt. There's a reason my tears comes to my eyes when I hear a song like this and a talent like that to just open his soul and belt that out. It's because something in me is being touched by him, his talent, by the words of the people that wrote that, and by something in me that is that recognizes I'm amazing, that knows I'm amazing, that keeps telling me I'm amazing, and would like to stop arguing the point with me. That's what we have inside of us. Because when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while. Because you're amazing, just the way you are. Have you been around someone who is just so certain of who they are, so sure of who they are, so clear, so carefree in their living of life, that life just seems like one big adventure? When you're around those people, you can't help but smiling because they bring it out of you. It's not about them, it's about you. It's about me. You know, when I work with Karen Mitchell on our music on Sundays, I feel like I smile through our whole meeting because she shows up as smile. She shows up as happy. She shows up as joy-filled and passionate. And so when you are in that place, you are doing the greatest thing you could ever do for this planet. This teaching, the science of mind, is the greatest gift for this planet when applied. It really is. A world filled with people who know who they are so fully that they just walk around singing. I mean, that's why the song that we close with this month, the happy song, has been so infectious. People hear it and they're just like, oh my God, I am happy. And they're dancing away. And suddenly their conditions, like Gareth's bedroom, are just something we turn away from. You know? I so appreciated that talk. So, last Sunday, I was at the teen camp, and last Friday when I got there, I have to say that when I first got there, I was like, what did I do? What made me think I wanted to spend 4 nights, it was only 3 nights, felt like 4, 3 nights in a camp that has a mattress that is like a piece of tinfoil, that the bunks are so close together, and that I would be the bunk master for 16 boys between the ages of 15 and 18 who don't understand the idea of going to sleep at night. And I got there, and I'm looking around, and they're all jumping up and down and hugging each other and loving on each other. And my car emptied out so fast. I get there, I go, so you got, boom, they're out, they're gone. I almost wouldn't have seen them all weekend if I didn't hunt them down occasionally. And I stood there going, oh, I don't know if I fit in here. I have grown way past this sort of roughing it, you know. And I'll be really honest, that is what I was thinking. I really was. And I was like, and then the first meeting came for the adults, and I stepped into that meeting, and it was like they were all teenagers. I was like, oh my. Well, I'm glad they brought an elder to be able to set them on the right track here. But I got set on the right track. And here's the best part. So I was so busy Friday when I packed. I thought I'd packed everything. I'd forgotten to pack pants. I got there and I was like, I only have the pants that are on my body. And they're the pants from Scary Musical that have holes all over them. I said, oh my God, I have no other pants. So I go to my son, I'm like, Will, do you have pants with you? He went, no, I was hoping you did. And I was like, the apple and the tree, ugh. And I was like, well, Will, he said, I have a pair of pants that don't fit me. I said, okay. He said, they're too small. I was like, well, that doesn't help me. And I said, so I had to wear these stinking pants all weekend. And Nora says to me, just hang it out the window at night. That's what we do. I can only tell you that by Monday morning, I had an aroma. No. By Monday morning, those pants were me. And I didn't need all the other things I thought I needed. And I didn't need the comfort I thought I needed. I actually slept really well. And all the boys sitting in their bunk like at 11 o'clock at night, and I had to be up at 5 to do CPR. They're talking, and most of it was about sex. And they're just talking and talking. And I remember the first night they all started talking about sex. And I'm like, do they remember I'm here? Because surely they wouldn't be sharing these things if they remembered I was here listening. And then I went, and I was that was me. Yeah, that's what I was like back then. And then I would fall asleep to the voices of sexual teenagers. And until one of them mentioned that he had actually gotten the prettiest girl's number in the camp, this beautiful blonde girl. And I'm laying in my bunk, and I just couldn't resist. I stick my head out and I went, excuse me, what's the name of the blonde girl whose number you got? And he went, oh. And Tyler LeBeau, who was sitting right above me, he went, oh my God, you asked the minister's daughter out? And I said, did she give you her number? And he said, yes, she did. I said, well, then you should be very proud of that, because I don't know that she's ever given her number to anyone, and I suppose I'll be seeing some of you. And he said, is that okay? I went, I suppose it's going to have to be. And then I went to sleep. And the next morning I went, Nora, did you give your number to somebody? She went, why? Did they mention it? No. She did it like this. She went, why? Did he tell you? And I was like... So anyway, I imagine they'll be dating occasionally with chaperones. So it was a very exciting weekend for me. It brought me back to remembering what that was all like. But there was a young girl who was there, and she got up on the last day, and they all did on the last day, to share their experience of the weekend. And I found myself literally sitting in a pool of tears through all of their shares. It was just so beautiful to watch these kids love one another so unconditionally. And this little girl got up and she said, when I got here, my immediate reaction was, I don't fit in here. And I'm sitting there going, me too. And she's like, I don't fit in here. She said, and then after just a few hours, I couldn't not fit in here because the love was so strong. You just wouldn't let me not fit in here. And it was truly one of the most accepting places I've ever been in my life. It was one of those places where everyone loved everyone. There was no arguing, no struggle, no drama. It was just a bunch of kids all having an amazing time. And it was just spectacular. Which takes me to the lyric in this song, if perfect is what you're searching for, then just stay the same. It's so important for me to get that we are perfect, just the way we are. And I kind of want to ask the question, where do we get the idea that we are anything less than perfect? Where do you get the idea that you are anything less than perfect? Can you pull it up? Can you actually put a name to it, put a person to it, put an experience to it that tells you you're less than perfect? Because I'm here to tell you, turn entirely away from those conditions. Because there is nothing more powerful than the truth. And that's what we're doing this year. I live my truth. And this month, I live my truth and dare to be my greatest self, dare to be the perfection that I truly am. In CPR, one of the words for God, one of the acronyms by one of the CPR members who came up with this a few years ago, is God, G-O-D, greatness on demand. So if you have a problem with the word God, just think of greatness on demand. That's what God is. And one of the quotes that was on the blog this morning was, I live my truth and dare to be my greatest self, even as I am the self I am. There's a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson I've used many times, and it's this: there is no great and no small. And I always end there, say there's no great and no small. Not that you do in your life. There's not the great things you do and then the things you sort of do badly. There's not. It's all God. It is all good. It's all God. It's all greatness on demand. And if we're willing to love all of it, then we're going to find out that we are all of it. Because this is the real quote by Emerson. There is no great and no small to the soul that maketh all. And when it cometh, all things are, and it cometh everywhere. I am the owner of the sphere of the 7 stars and the solar year, of Caesar's hand and Plato's brain, of Lord Christ's heart and Shakespeare's strain. Emerson wasn't saying there's no great and no small to the soul that maketh all. He was saying you are the allness. You are all of it. You are Shakespeare's strain. You are Othello's magnificent performance. You are Namaste's beautiful blending. You are all of it. I am all of it. Not just my little individual self. I am all of it. So today's talk title is All Means All. All means all. So what it means is I have to love it all. And then I get to decide what I want to live. I live my truth and dare to be my greatest self. My greatest self knows who I am. My greatest self knows who I am. What do you have to look at in your life? What do I have to look at in my life that diminishes the truth of who I am? What's going on in any of our lives that lets us diminish ourselves in any way? What would that be? What is it? Because it needs to be dealt with. Another thing that happened at this teen camp that just blew me away. They have a dance on Sunday night at the end of the weekend. And I'm sitting in the dance. I'm sitting in the cafeteria. It's a graceful name for that place. For this place where they eat. And the kids are all coming in dressed for the dance, and everybody was supposed to bring something to dress for the pants. I had on these great jeans with holes in them. And the kids start coming in, and they're all looking really cute, and there's dresses and stuff, and all of a sudden, and by the way, I have gotten permission from my son to tell you this story, because I wouldn't tell it without getting his permission. In walks my son in a dress. No kidding. A dress. Actually, it was Jamie Contente's dress that he borrowed, and stockings. A dress, stockings, and shoes, his own shoes. And he walked in, and I was like, and he comes over to me in this dress, and I was like, is there something you'd like to talk to me about? And he said, Dad, really? He said, here's what's going on. He said, this is your first camp. You just don't know. He said, here's what's going on. Every year, one of the straight guys dresses this way so that we are in solidarity with not only the gays and the lesbians, but the transgenders. He said, so I volunteered. He said, and to be honest with you, he said, it feels, except for the pantyhose, it feels really good. I said, okay. I said, well, and I got all teary-eyed, and I was like, I am so proud of you and so uncomfortable looking at you like this. I said, I just want to be honest. It's an uncomfortable thing to look at. And then I thought about the mothers and the fathers of the children that are transgendering. And my own stepmother, whose son at the age of 52, with an ex-wife and 2 children, told his mother, I am a woman, and he is in the process of making that happen. And my stepmother, Sally, trying to work that through with me, and I was like, well, at the time, I was just like, we love everyone, and I was giving, but now I'm standing there with my son, realizing what that felt like. And I bring this up because if our job is to love it all, that means we must turn that love this way and love it all. Absolutely love it all. Last night, I was at a dinner party. It was really a wonderful, wonderful night. And I was sitting with the beautiful Tara, who I think is sitting right here somewhere. There you are. I think I'm going to misquote you, even though I made you record it for me. I think I wrote it down wrong. You can maybe scream out what it really is if you really want to take that step. But we were talking about, I said that I was going to talk today about loving it all, and that all means all. All means all. What is the worst thing you can think about yourself? What is the worst thing you do think about yourself? What is that? You must love it. Whatever it is, whatever behavior it is, however you have lived up to this point in time. When I look back and I think about, my son is turning into the most beautiful 15-year-old boy who is being a 15-year-old boy. And I remember what I was like as a 15-year-old boy. So how can I possibly tell him any of his behavior is off the mark when I look back and go, oh my God, he's so good compared to me. Really? But do I love my 15-year-old boy that I was? Am I proud of everything I've done? Maybe not proud, but do I accept it as part of who I am? Do I accept it as what has brought me to this definitive moment in my life? Do I allow it to be who I am? The answer is yes. It has to be yes. You have to love all of yourself, just the way you are. And some Christians may say, because that's how God made you. No, that's how you made you, because you are God. And you've made yourself this way because you made the decisions you made. And some of them you may look back and go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. That just informs you not to do it again. That's all. So we're at this dinner party, and Tara was telling me about working with people, and she is a high fashion model. You're going to hate me. They're all going to swarm you after this. And she said to me, well, here's how I get around this. She said, I just look at myself. In order to love everything, I just look at myself and I say, I am a lying, cheating, stealing whore. And I'm okay with that. And she said it to me, and I was just like, oh my God, I love that. I am a lying, what was the real line though?
Lying, cheating, thieving whore.
Thieving, that's it, thieving. I am a lying, cheating, thieving whore. And I'm okay with that. And then as we talked about it, it was like, no, of course she's not that right now. That's not how she's living, well, in this particular moment. That's not how she's living now. But there were times when she felt all of those things, one at a time, I would think. Maybe they all came together. I don't know. But there are things that you say about yourself. I am a stupid person who just can't figure out computers. How many of you, don't raise your hands, but how many people do I hear saying, I don't have the brains when it comes to money. I don't know how to be in a relationship with people. I'm not good at relationships. And so it is. Right? So today, this very day, you have the opportunity to allow yourself to love it all. How would that feel to you? It's scary a little bit. It's scary. And when I say love it, I don't mean do it again if it doesn't work for you. I don't mean love the things that you want to change. I do mean love the things you want to change. But I don't mean love the things and then feel that you can't change them. Loving all of you is a consciousness that attracts. When I love all of me, I have released all the stuff that I think negatively about myself. And that's how I started this talk, that we have to be on top of what we say to ourselves. We must. We absolutely must. So my question to you today is, are you okay with all of your life? Can you know you're amazing in the face of all that you've done throughout your entire life? Throughout your entire life, everything you've done. Can you today sit here and just say, I'm okay with it? I've told you the story about my father on his deathbed. Literally, I didn't know it was his deathbed because he died a few hours later when I left him, who I asked a question to that I was trying to lead him into giving me a different answer, because it was all about me. And I did. I just said, so, Dad, looking back, is there anything in your life you'd like to bring up and talk about? Anything that you did that you maybe want to, think about in a different way? Is there anything you regret? And I'm thinking he's going to say, yes, I wish I'd have loved my children more. I wish I'd have been more present. I wanted him to answer the things I needed to hear him say. And instead, he looked at me and he went, nope. He said, I think I lived my life the best I could have lived it, and I'm happy with it all. And my response was, really? In fact, I said goodbye to him. I got in the car. I went, you will not believe what my father just said. He's actually happy with the way he lived his life. He's happy with the way he showed up as a father. Unbelievable. I just can't believe this. He's happy. And then I went and gave a talk at Unity. But he died right before I got on stage. And they called me and told me. And then I had to give a talk at Unity in New York called You Can't Stop the Beat. You can't write this stuff. You really can't. And it wasn't until years later that I actually am where I am standing here today to you, giving a talk called All Means All, and realized my father had it right. And we can make that happen right now in this moment here. You can look at your whole life and say, everything I've done up to this point has happened for the divine, perfect reason, because I'm standing right where I am. And I love it all. And you know what? I absolutely do love it all. I really do. I absolutely do. Every part of me. Every idiosyncratic, crazy, needy, dysfunctional, perhaps at times part of me. And I am perfect now. Absolutely perfect. And if I want to be needy, I will. And if I don't, I won't, because I get it. I am at choice. At all times, at choice. So Dana, would you come up here for a minute? She doesn't know this.
I'm a choice.
You are a choice. Yes. So, no, don't look at my notes. She's like, what is he doing? Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Just take a deep breath. Relax. Now just look at me.
Okay.
When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change. Because you, Dana, are amazing. Just the way you are, and with everything that your life is. You good with that? Okay. Turn it on. Now, if you would all, I'd like to do this together. Repeat after me to Dana. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change. Because you're amazing. Just the way you are. I'll take it in. You good? Good. I'm going to sit you down. Now, the question I have for you is, what are we waiting for to know this? Are we waiting for someone to bring us on stage and tell us? Well, good luck. No, are we waiting for the world to tell us this? This is the big part of this talk today, folks. Are we waiting for the world to show us this? Are we waiting for the world to tell us this? Because guess what? The wait is over. You are who you are, just the way you are. You are who you are, just the way you are. So I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And I'm going to say to you, you are who you are, just the way you are. You are who you are, just the way you are. Now open your eyes. I'd like you to turn to the person next to you. I know it's uncomfortable, but you are one with the universe. look right into their eyes like I did with Dana, and all at once repeat after me. You are who you are, Eric, just the way you are. One more time. You are who you are, just the way you are. Now put your hands on your heart. This is for you. Take a deep breath. Repeat after me. I am who I am, exactly the way I am. One more time. I am who I am, exactly the way I am. As I left the camp on Monday, one of the last boys to get up was a very strapping young 18-year-old, 6'2", very masculinely strong and handsome. And he got up and he started to talk and he started to cry. And all the kids tackled him and just they got on top of him and hugged him. And he shared with us, he said, I know who I am when I'm standing up here. But in 10 minutes, I'm going to be driven back down the mountain into my life. And I'm afraid I'm going to forget it. So, I'm here to tell you today, you are a choice to remember what we just did. You are a choice to remember who you are. You are a choice to know that you are amazing just the way you are, and no matter what happens, come from amazing. See it through amazing. See it because you know you are amazing no matter what it is. Stay on top of the mountain. Bring the mountain down to the earth. Bring that highest level of consciousness into everything you do. We can live on top of the mountain and yet live in our perfect individual lives. We don't have to escape. We don't have to come here and hold our hearts and say this and then forget it. We can take that with us. So what I know for all of you is that you take this day with you. Let it inform you. Let it remind you. And then live it out loud. Namaste. Thank you. Okay. So I invite you to take a deep breath. And take out your contribution here this morning. In CPR, today was all about giving and realizing and recognizing that when we give, we receive, and it's all the same thing. So I want you to be conscious, not just of what you think about yourself, but about what you are doing with who you think you are. So know what you are doing here today. I am so grateful to the prosperity of this center. We are about to take a giant leap forward. I know where we're going. I think I do. We'll see. But I do know where we're going because home is the place. Jamie was absolutely right. And I thank you for contributing and for really opening up your hearts and your bank accounts to help us move to this next place. I guarantee you it will be quite amazing. So let's know this together, shall we? Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly.